Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse review. I got some old figures to take a look at, some really old ones in fact. On the left we have the Arrow from Arrow, the TV show, and on the right we have the Flash from the Flash TV show. Both of these originally retailed for I think $19.99. I spent a bit more on that, so I've had this guy on my wall for quite some time. And I hadn't found a good reason to open him until now, but $30. You can even see what year he was released, or rather, manufactured, December 3rd of 2019. He was one of the first couple figures, and it's definitely apparent once we open it up. But yeah, it's kind of weird seeing these old school boxes. Yeah, like look at the back here. Like, isn't that wild seeing that? I miss when they did this. I wish they went back to this. Such a shame that they got rid of that particular style. But yeah, there's a Green Arrow there. And then on the right here, we got Flash. It's again, this is an older figure. 2022, so 4 years ago. Pretty crazy. But yeah, his is a render of the figure. Also, something to take a note of when we open it. But yeah, I obviously have Supergirl, so we're going to see how the three of them look together, the big three of the Arrowverse. Let's get these two open. Something I do want to point out while I'm opening this figure, the Green Arrow here actually has a custom, or rather not custom, it has a plastic here that I haven't seen before. It holds the bow in place. That's pretty cool. Alright, got him out of the package. That took some time, but like I said, finally, I got him out of here. Let's go ahead and start off with their accessories. So they both come with, as per usual, a figure stand. The one on my Flash one's kind of messed up. I'm actually going to keep these on hand because this guy is having some trouble. They both come with a card, and you know, I didn't know this about the first batch of figures that they did, but this card that Green Arrow has is so much thicker than Flash's. Like, trying to give you, yeah, look at that. Like, listen to this. Barely any sound, right? Loud as hell. Alright, and here's Flash's again. Nothing. Like, it's so thick for no reason. Like, I mean, it's durable. It's not easy to bend. Like, I'm barely putting pressure on it, and it's not doing anything, whereas, you know, this one, easy to flex. But you know, another thing to point out, this is a still from the show. This is a render of the figure. Not sure why they did that. The render looks better, but like I said, we'll get into that. But I'll put those in the binder, and then they each come with their own accessories. We'll start off with Flash's. So Flash here, he has a really cool accessory that I wish they had used for other Flash figures, but essentially what you do is you put it around his neck here and around his arms, and you can simulate him like running, and that's really cool. Like the speed force is you know, surrounding him. It's all around him, and he's using it to run. That's pretty cool. I wish we had seen more of this piece. I will say though, it's not very form-fitting. It doesn't want to fit. Maybe it's just because of how long the figure's been in the package. And then he comes with two pieces of lightning, I guess. Just straight lightning pieces. So if you want to recreate that scene from the one season where he and Reverse Flash are fighting Godspeed, having a lightsaber battle, you could do that. You know, the option's there. Feel free, right? But yeah, that's Flash's accessories. Stay. And then Green Arrow here, he's got 3 accessories as well. He's got his arrows. It's just a bunch of arrows. There's not a single arrow in this set. It's just, like I said, a bunch of them, like 7 or 6? 6. There's 6. And they don't stay in very well in the quiver. The quiver is nice, but like I said, there's nothing keeping them in there. There's like a little indentation or a groove. It's hard to see. Let me get... Yeah, you really can't see it, but there is an indentation in there that looks like it would hold the arrows well this way, but not really. Yeah, I don't, yeah, they just kind of flop around in there no matter what orientation you put him in. But he does have a hole in the back that will fit them. And yeah, looks alright. And then he does come with his bow here, compound bow. I'm not sure if they ever gave it a name other than bow. But I like it. It has one arrow already in it, as if he was firing. It is pretty warped from the package, but if you want to put it in his hand, of course you can. The only issue here is that, I'm trying to give you a good view here, these fingers barely want to budge. So if you do want to put the bow and arrow on him, which I do, you're going to have a real tough time. And obviously it's supposed to go in his left hand, but again, same thing over here. These hands barely want to budge. They don't want to move. And yeah, it's just not great. I'm pretty sure it goes in this way, although the thinner handle would probably be easier to put it in. Yeah, so I would show you what he looks like with the arrow in hand, but I can't do that. But if you were interested, you can put it in between his back. This isn't exactly how he carried it in the show, and obviously there's an arrow in it, but gives you an idea. Not too bad. And again, you'd have to take off the whole thing here. But pretty good. Let's see if I can get him to stand up right. Yeah, this figure's got some problems, man. But we're going to go back to the Flash here. And I don't think this is a bad version of this Flash. There's this one piece on the figure that I can't fathom why they decided to make it that way. So if we look in the render, you'll see that he's got a circular upper torso, whereas on the figure, he's got this weird, like, toothy thing going on. Like, I don't know why they did that, because if you move the figure, you see the gold line continues all the way. So I don't know why they decided to just have this extra bit of plastic there. Again, it's very strange. Proportionally, I think the render looks better as well. I think it's just the colors. Obviously, these colors are more accurate to the show, but these are the darker colors from the first couple seasons. But again, I think the render looks better just because of that torso thing. But, you know, they did a good job recreating the texture on here. They got that weird diamond on his midsection. The Flash logo looks great. It's well painted. The lightning bolts on the side of his head are a bit off. This one is, for some reason, pushed a lot more forward than the other one, as you can see. I don't know why. It's not fixable without heat or regluing it. This figure suffers from side-eye syndrome that Mcfarlane decided to do at some point early in the line. Again, don't know why. The figure, again, is very well painted, very well textured. Looks pretty good. It's got all of the texture from the show from season 6. I don't remember the exact one. This looks kind of weird with like the darker texture here going across his ass cheeks. Just a weird looking thing. Don't know why they did that. But yeah, again, very well textured figure. Looks very good. Very accurate to the show. Something I did notice taking this out. If you look at this ankle's fine. But if you look at this one, again, it's hard to capture on camera, but you see how the joint on this side here is nice and flush. This one isn't. You see how it sticks out? That's because this piece, for some reason, on this side, is improperly rotated. So if you look at the seam line of the boot, it goes down, continues into the shoe. But this one, as you can see, doesn't do that. So the foot is actually supposed to go up here, but look, when you turn it, yeah, nothing happens. So I got an improperly rotated ankle piece there, and I don't know if that's something every person got, but yeah, the foot's supposed to go on the opposite side, and obviously you can't do that. But it's supposed to go like this and then like this, but you can't do that for some reason on mine. So that's fun. Don't know how that happened in manufacturing. And obviously I can't get a replacement figure because this figure came out 4 years ago. And I had to buy this on eBay for like $50. But at least I got it, right? Yeah, you know, figure looks good here. Only real complaint I have besides the torso there and the just kind of weird proportions going on up here. I wish he came with some actual running hands. Instead, they gave him 2 trigger finger hands. And I think they're reused hands, but again, I don't know. But yeah, no running hands for this Flash. It's annoying. Again, this figure did come out 4 years ago, and they've mostly remedied their problems with accessories. But yeah, there's a look at the Flash figure. We'll look at articulation in a little bit here. Green Arrow here, he is a first year figure, so he suffers from quite a bit of things. A lot of things going on. So the first thing I noticed when taking him out is just how wonky these legs are. On camera it looks good, but in person it is just not good at all. Like, the leg goes straight down, and then for some reason it angles out and then goes down. Rather than going straight down, it goes out to the side. Maybe that's accurate to the human body, but in action figure form, it can be done a hell of a lot better. Case in point. I do like that everything here is uniquely molded and textured. Again, I like that. I don't think we've seen these legs return, and for good reason. They suck. They're just bad. But the major thing I noticed when looking at the legs is actually the crotch piece. I don't know if you can hear that, but that crotch piece is hard plastic. It's not a soft goods. No, it's not, soft rubber, rather. It's hard plastic. Like, what? That's a hard plastic crotch piece? A Mcfarlane figure having a crotch piece that's hard plastic and not rubber? What? Huh? That's insane. But, because of that, articulation is actually pretty damn good on this joint here. You can see how that's attached. Don't worry about the arrows falling out. But yeah, besides the legs looking just a bit wonky, it does have a hard crotch. Same thing with the butt. It's a hard butt. It's not rubber. Pretty cool. There's very few figures in this line that have that, so there's one of them. He does have the ball joints on the ankles as well as the wrists. And for this figure, I think it works. It's a very, jacket and leather type of look. So having those ankle and wrist joints is just regular balls. I'm fine with. It's not really that big a deal. I think that I prefer the wrist joints to be, textured and shaped properly. But for the ankles, they don't need to be, like that over there. Nice, highly textured. There is some good detail here in the leg here. He's got his 3 little, darts. And then on this side, he's got some other pouches, things to hold, etc. And then if we take this off, we can see the texture on the back of the figure. It does look pretty nice. I got, no complaints with the texture here. And I just noticed that his arms are actually a brown, not a dark green. Yeah, those are brown. It's hard to see, but in person it's definitely brown. And that's not really helping. But yeah, his arms are like a brown color. That's weird. I didn't notice that. Oh, and yeah, these are painted brown too. Again, hard to see on camera. But yeah, it's a very well painted, textured, articulated figure. Well, maybe not articulated, but we'll look at that. He's even got like little silver bits painted on his upper torso here, as well as the zipper. The zipper's fully painted silver, which is kind of insane. You got the brown in here as well. I think the head sculpt mostly looks like Stephen Amell, but if he was a Barbie doll. I don't think that this is a good representation of Stephen Amell's Arrow. Again, he looks like a Barbie doll. Those eyes are just a little too cutesy looking. And, these ones are a little too comic-y looking, but that at least looks more like Grant Gustin. But, yeah, he looks a little cutesy. And something also to notice on the hood here, he's got brown on the outside, and he's got black painted on the inside for the shadow of the hood. That's a nice attention to detail. I don't think that the hood is properly, shaped, but, you can kind of mess around with it. And the head is not actually removable, at least not easily. You would have to find a way to take this hood off. It is glued on in a couple places. You see, I already pulled at it a little bit, but he does have a full head of hair in there. So if you could find a way to get that head off, there you go. But I think the hood here actually has a tab on it that goes into Arrow's head here. because when I pulled this back, I saw a big, like, forehead. No, not forehead. Top of head. Let me see if I can get the head looking forward. There you go. You can see there's a big slot where his hair is. And there's a big, peg for the hood. So the hood always stays in place. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But, if you want to get that head out, you can. But you're going to have to fill in his hair. Really nice looking figure, though. Let me put this back on. And again, I'd put the arrow on. Or sorry, the bow. Not the arrow. He's the arrow. That's the bow. I'd put the bow on if it actually worked. But it's time for the best part of the video, size comparisons. So, Green Arrow here. At the top of his hood, he's almost 7.5 inches tall, whereas Flash here is just about 7.5 inches tall. Practically the same size, but obviously I showed her off earlier, but let's go ahead and see how they look next to Supergirl. And she's more scaled for a 6-inch line, I think. She is exactly 6 inches, I believe. And she's having trouble standing. Give me a second here. Yeah, she's got the weird, like... She doesn't have clown feet. She has, like, tiny-ass body syndrome. I don't know. But, yeah, look at the three of them together. Don't they look good? Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad we finally have the big three of the CW shows. It only took them this long, getting Supergirl. But, yeah, these two are kind of hard to find on the aftermarket. Obviously, she just came out and, well, doesn't seem to be a very popular figure. So if you're waiting for a sale on Supergirl, you're in luck because she's not selling too well, at least in my neck of the woods. Yeah, she looks good, though. Like it. And as I'm looking at my Flash figure, I just noticed something. So before we move on, they did not, did they? Oh my god, they did. So, yeah, they gave me two of the same boot piece, I just noticed. Yeah, so these boots, they're both facing the same direction. They have the exact same texture. So, yeah, I basically got a defective figure here. That's nice. I can't see it in the render. It's cut off below the legs. So... But yeah, they totally gave me the same, like, see how it curves here on both sides, and then see how both of the gold pieces are looking that direction? Yeah, I got a defective figure. So I got a wrong boot here, I got a wrong ankle piece there. That's fun. Anything else wrong with this guy? No, everything else seems okay. I don't see any other issues. And these are two of the same piece pretty much, so I don't really care. Yeah, that's great. I just noticed that. That's fun. Yeah, all these figures have problems, but I guess we can go into articulation. I don't really want to, but let's see. Flash here. Side to side's decent. Looking down's okay. Looking up's great for running poses. Phew, phew. Man, forearm swivel, that's kind of tight. I don't want to push it. Double jointed elbows are great. He's got the wrist pegs, you know what those do. Plenty of range of movement. Back here, again, good for running poses. And a great crunch forward, although it does show from the back there. Again, I'd probably cut this up just a bit so it looks a bit better, more flush. And of course, those spin around on both axes. And then he's got side to side. Beautiful spread. Kick forward. Not so much kick backward. And then with the double jointed knees are pretty good. He's got toe bend. This is a character that does need it. Ow. And then hinge joint. And then get me to pivot. I want to pivot. There's the pivot. So Flash is pretty good. He's good for running poses. I just wish that he came with some actual running hands. Some, wish we got some of that. And then Arrow here. Let's get this off. Alright, obviously you saw what the head can do. The midsection piece here, it's basically, you got the crotch piece, the upper piece, and then connecting that is just one long tube. So you can get kind of freaky with it. Side to side's great. Actually, oh, that's weird. There's a hinge joint in there. Yeah, there's like an actual hinge joint from side to side. Like I can feel it like lock. That's weird. But arch back, pretty good, although it gives him kind of like a crotch thing going on here. Weird crotch thing. And then the crunch forward's really good, but I worry if I crunch it forward anymore, it's going to break. At least that's what it feels like to me. And then side to side, yeah, crunchy. All the way around. It's not great. It's not perfect. Obviously, that gets in the way. And then there's this little lip here, but you can move the forearm all the way around. Good T-posing, and I got an eyelash on my eye. I'm trying to fight the urge. Double jointed elbows. See if I can get anything better than that. Yeah, not really. Can't get a good double jointed elbow, but you can make it look like he's grabbing an arrow from his quiver. Oh, hey, look, that's painted too. And then obviously you know what the wrist pegs do, although it doesn't want to rotate on this one. I'd be careful. And then kick backward, like I said, really good. Really good kick backward. Really good kick forward too. The one benefit of the plastic crotch pieces, the hard plastic ones, although you don't get a good spread. And then double jointed knees, not too bad. And then ankles, you know what the ankles do. And then there's a pivot and toe bend. So, yeah, pretty good. And then I'd show them off with the usuals, but I don't think I'm going to do that for this review. It's already gone on long enough. So if you want to track any of these down, Supergirl is going to be the easiest. She just came out. She's easy to find, like I said. Of these two figures, Flash was harder for me to find. I found a lot of the platinum, all gray, artist proof, as they called it, variants of that figure. So if you want to, take a swing at painting it yourself, go get that artist proof. It's honestly not bad. I'd probably get one just to try to make a custom zoom. But that goes for about retail still. And then Arrow here, he kind of fluctuates all over the place with price, but I've seen quite a few of him on the aftermarket, so you have options for him at the very least. Really glad to have the CW trio, though. I grew up watching both Arrow, Flash, and I tried to get into Supergirl, but I just couldn't finish that first season. I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Maybe I'll try again. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.